Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I thought I'd do is talk about a term that's commonly used in commercial real estate, and that is common area maintenance. Now, this is a term that's generally used, as I said, in commercial real estate, but in particular in multi-tenant centers. What this would include is the maintenance of the common areas. So if you can imagine, let's say a shopping center, common areas would include the walkways. It may include the parking lot maintenance. It may include some of the trimming of bushes or lawn, etc. And then maybe some water charges to be able to water the shrubs or whatever else. In an office building, it may be the hallways, it may be the shared bathrooms, it may be the elevator. So really, it's the areas that are common to that particular building. Now, the reason why this is a very important metric to understand when you're looking at commercial lease opportunities is because that's an expense you're going to have to account for on a pretty regular basis. Generally speaking, the expense would be billed on a quarterly basis. Sometimes landlords decide to do it monthly, some biannually, some yearly, but for the most part, it's generally on a quarterly basis. And the amount you're supposed to, or you're allotted to pay, is going to be based on your pro rata share of the space. So, for example, if you occupy 2,000 square feet in an 8,000 square foot center, you're going to be responsible for paying about 25% of the common area expenses for that particular property. And not only that, but as you're requesting common area charges for, let's say, from commercial agents, generally speaking, it would be listed as a per square foot charge. So, for example, if you're looking to lease a 2,000 square foot facility, and the CAM charges may be, let's say, $2 a square foot. That means that over the course of a year, you would be responsible for roughly $4,000 worth of CAM charges. So over the course of a month, you're looking at $300 to $400 per month in common area charges. Now, as a tenant, when you are in fact looking at lease opportunities within a multi-tenant center, there's a few things you need to consider as part of the negotiation process as it relates to common area maintenance charges. Number one thing to consider is that you can negotiate caps on common area maintenance charges. What I mean by caps is that the expenses that you are responsible for paying for do not exceed a certain value. So for example, let's take the previous example that I shared. If you're looking to lease a space that's 2,000 square feet and the quoted common area charge is $2 a square foot, you can include in your lease that you're not responsible for anything above the $2 a square foot quoted charge. So let's say that over the course of your lease term, the common area expenses rise because, let's say, cost of cleaning rises, water charges rises, maybe some of the parking lot cleaning fees rise. You're only going to be responsible for $2 a square foot over the life of your term. That'll help you save in incremental increases in these CAM charges over time. And obviously that's going to be negotiable at when you actually negotiate your lease. Not only that, you should also make sure that there's language that's included in the document that says that if the common area maintenance charges that you're charged over the course of the year are more than it actually costs throughout the year, then you should receive a reimbursement for the difference. So if you paid $4,000 over the course of a year in common area charges and your pro rata responsibility after all the expenses are tabulated should have only been $3,600, you should receive a $400 credit at the end of the year for the extra amount that you paid towards common area charges. And that's something you'd have to want to look for and to include in your lease agreement. And then another thing that you should consider negotiating, in particular if you have some leverage, is to negotiate what's included in common area. Sometimes the landlord wants to put a lot of different charges included in the common area maintenance. But if you have the negotiating power, you may say, no, I don't want to include this particular provision or this particular part within the common area maintenance charges, and therefore you may or may not be responsible for maintaining that portion, maybe the hallways or maybe the shared bathrooms. Maybe you can say, well, since I don't use those bathrooms, I don't want to be included in the common area maintenance charges. Obviously, that's not as common, but that is something that you can consider doing if you do, in fact, have some leverage. And not only that, the final thing that I would recommend, in particular if you're looking at multi-tenant centers is to carefully audit some of the shared expenses. So for example, a lot of multi-tenant centers out there are not individually metered for water. So you may have a shared water bill for the entire center. In that case, you may want to individually audit the water bill for the shared spaces to make sure that you're not overpaying for the shared aspects, because maybe next door you have a dog groomer or a hair salon or some other business use that requires a significant amount of water. These are some of the things that need to be considered as you're looking at lease opportunities that include common area maintenance charges. So hopefully you gain some value in this video. I hope now it illuminates what a common area maintenance charge is and how you can negotiate some more favorable terms for yourself in the negotiation process. If you're in the process of seeking lease opportunities within a multi-tenant center, especially here in the Louisville and surrounding areas, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you sign or get into one of these opportunities. My number is 502-536-7315. Or you can reach me via email at Raphael@grisantigroup.com. Along with that, if you love these videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I love providing awesome, engaging content related to commercial real estate, and I'll continue to do so on a weekly basis. But it's always nice to be able to hear some feedback from my listeners so that I'm able to provide content that you like, that you engage with. So feel free to do that. And I guess that's it for this week, and we'll see you guys next time. See ya.